7,000 people a week from being killed. I think that's a pretty... I want to try and get to heaven if possible. I'm hearing I'm not doing well. I hear I'm really at the bottom of the totem pole. But if I can get to heaven, this will be one of the reasons. Well, I think I saved a lot of lives with India, Pakistan. They were going at it. The planes were big.
So he's joking about how ending the war in Ukraine might help him get into heaven. So many things to say. First of all, bro, you said you were going to end the war on day one. 6 months later, over 6 months later, ain't happened. Number two, bro, you're not getting into heaven no matter what. Someone tell this man that he doesn't have to worry. Lucifer is going to welcome him at the gates of his forever home. Hopefully soon.
The World Cup was here the other day, and come to think of it, there's your trophy for the World Cup. In fact, it's solid gold. That's actually solid gold, so heavy that some of the people in this room wouldn't.
On another note, I know that many in the media have been speculating about bruising on the president's hand and also swelling in the president's legs. So in the effort of transparency, the president wanted me to share a note from his physician with all of you today. In recent weeks, President Trump noted mild swelling in his lower legs. In keeping with routine medical care and out of an abundance of caution, this concern was thoroughly evaluated by the White House medical unit. The president underwent a comprehensive examination, including diagnostic vascular studies. Bilateral lower extremity venous Doppler ultrasounds were performed and revealed chronic venous insufficiency, a benign and common condition, particularly in individuals over the age of 70. Importantly, there was no evidence of deep vein thrombosis or arterial disease. Laboratory testing included a complete blood count, comprehensive metabolic panel, coagulation profile, D-dimer, B-type natriuretic peptide, and cardiac biomarkers. All results were within normal limits. An echocardiogram was also performed and confirmed normal cardiac structure and function. No signs of heart failure, renal impairment, or systemic illness were identified. Additionally, recent photos of the president have shown minor bruising on the back of his hand. This is consistent with minor soft tissue irritation from frequent handshaking and the use of aspirin, which is taken as part of a standard cardiovascular prevention regimen. This is a well-known and benign side effect of aspirin therapy. And the president remains in excellent health, which I think all of you witness on a daily basis.
The president's congestive heart failure is getting worse. I'm a home health physical therapist with a doctorate in my field. I see congestive heart failure patients on a daily basis. The reason I know that he has congestive heart failure is because of the swelling in his feet and ankles. The reason I know it's getting worse is because he's sitting behind the desk on camera now. He lashed out against MSNBC for giving him hash about his ankles. This is how we know that something is true, because it gets to Trump. Remember recently where he was talking about going to heaven for some fun reason? He says people said I'm not doing very well. I don't think he's talking about the media. I think he's talking about the doctors who are treating him. The only reason his health has been maintained at all is because he has the privilege of getting IV diuretics, spironolactone, Lasix, Bumex, something like that. That's why his hands have been bruised and covered with makeup. Badly, I might add. We know that it's getting worse because he knows he cannot hide the degree of swelling. That's why he's sitting behind the desk. Oh, he also has chronic kidney disease, which is also contributing to the swelling in the feet and ankles. I can't tell you how many times I have seen a patient in their home because they were hospitalized for AKI, or acute kidney injury. The kidney injury was caused by nephrotoxic medications, namely diuretics, spironolactone, Bumex, Lasix. The president is definitely getting sicker, and we know he's not going to change his diet because he's such a fucking idiot. I think he's going to be around for 6 to 8 months tops. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So the president has congestive heart failure and or chronic kidney disease, I'm pretty sure. I'm a physical therapist and I work in home health. I work with congestive heart failure and chronic kidney disease patients on a daily basis and have done so for the last 14 years. I made a video previously explaining why I thought he did based on the symptoms I was spotting at the time, particularly the nature of the swelling in his legs. But then I remembered I'd forgotten an obvious one: periorbital edema, or swelling around the eyes. My wife is a massive fan of Sherlock Holmes, and she has all of the Jeremy Brett versions of Sherlock Holmes from Grenada Television in the UK from years ago, all on DVD. Jeremy Brett was a brilliant British actor who actually ended up passing away from congestive heart failure. As his disease progressed, he put on weight in general, and he developed periorbital swelling. So when you look at Trump nowadays, it's not simply that he's getting old and his skin is sagging, it's that his eyeballs are floating from all that fluid his body is not supposed to be carrying. And I've seen several videos recently from ICU and ER nurses that suspect that he's actually on IV Lasix. We all know his diet is terrible, so we just need him to keep that up. I can tell you from firsthand experience with congestive heart failure and chronic kidney disease patients, the thing that puts them at the most risk of hospitalization or a fatal event is non-compliance with their medication or their diet. We know he's not compliant with his diet, but he can get away with that because he has access to the best health care the world can provide, including IV treatments whenever he needs them. Nobody is going to tell this president what he should or should not be eating, and that's fine. We're okay with that. Many of you were asking before, well, how long does he have? And the truth is, it could be a couple of months if he doesn't behave, which he won't. Awesome. And before any of you MAGA smooth brains jump in the comments, it was completely wrong of the federal government to hide how bad Joe Biden was actually doing.
Hey, what's up, fam? How you doing? I'm hoping that you're doing great from wherever you're watching me from. I'm your host and presenter, G-Tech Stories, and I just want us to have a discussion in regards to something that has been looming on the social media. I think you've seen the looks of Mr. Donald Trump, and this is getting everyone having questions, and doctors, professionals who understand and who see all things like, the non-verbal cues that he makes people think that there's something going on with his life. And people have been concerned with these looks, including a political analyst, in how he handles things. And in a recent video where Mr. Donald Trump was trying to talk about his fears, how he thinks that when he dies, he's gonna go to heaven, and he's asking, and I think these all things comes from the guilt of the point that people have been going through devastating conditions, and everyone is just having something to say about Mr. Donald Trump. And I don't really know if this is something to really get worried about, but allegedly he's been diagnosed by different diseases, and himself is seeing his life like is going a very time soon. Despite that, we have seen people having predictions, like there's this lady that came on social media and said that Mr. Donald Trump is gonna be dying around on 24th of this August, but that didn't happen. But when you try to when you try to connect the health of Mr. Donald Trump today and how he handles things, makes you think twice, because this is a person that has made American citizens go through a lot of stuff, and people have something to say about this. I want us to watch this video, and then I'll be back. I'll be sharing my thoughts in the end of it all. Please let me know what to think about this. But until then, I want to see you watch the video and let's talk about it, right? Because this is something that we might want to have talk about. So let's watch. I'll be back.
I don't care who it is in office, you need to be healthy. And if you're not, those things need to be disclosed to the American people. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
Y'all, when I tell you the way I cackled, come on in here, come on in here. Listen, Syphilitic Sid is over here saying that he's not doing well. He's at the bottom of the totem pole. Now, his not doing well is not our not doing well. If you know what I'm saying, Anywho, he did an interview, and this Mickey Fix said the reason why he's doing all the things he's doing, like, for example, trying to broker a peace deal, like we really believe he's trying to broker a peace deal, and trying to end these conflicts around the world. You never gonna believe what that mofo said. He's trying to get into heaven. He said he is trying to get into heaven, y'all. Now, I don't know which heaven he think he's trying to get into, but it can't be the one with the Lord Jesus Christ. I'm just saying, it cannot be the one with the Lord Jesus Christ. Because how is you going to get to the pearly gates and tell Jesus that you separated children from their families, kill people's health care, 1.4 million, about to lose Medicaid right now in the state of Florida. You took away health care from children who had cancer, you deported them. Then you canceled cancer research. Mimo and Pawpaw gonna have to leave the nursing home because they ain't gonna have no Medicaid to cover that. But yo oversized, cankled ass talking about you trying to get in heaven. The only thing I can say is that I guess, because like when are on death row, and the preacher go and say, if you accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, all your sins are forgiven. I guess that's what he's counting on. But I tell you what, I'm not sure if I'm going, but on the off chance that I go and he's up there It's on site. It's on site. And you know what's going to happen? They're going to be like, you got to go. And I'm going to be like, I'm okay with that, but let me whoop his ass first. I'm just saying. And anybody else who want to line up behind me, we all finna get our lick in if he make it up there. Anyway, I'm going to go find something for dinner. Y'all have a good night.
So the other day, Donald Trump was walking around the White House, and he went to the White House gift shop. And then he came back to give a press conference for FIFA. And this is how he looked. And by any account, you would say that this does not look very great or put together. He sort of looks like he just came off of a drunken tirade 24-hour bender. But I'm going to play you a video that I came across from a professional. He is a licensed professional. This is not my opinion. I am just playing the video. You're going to see his TikTok handle name in the video. You can go look at his video, but let's watch what he has to say about Donald Trump.
The president's congestive heart failure is getting worse. I'm a home.
Now, as I said, I am not a professional. I am not a doctor. I am not giving any diagnosis. That gentleman, who is a professional, is. Tell me what you think.
Donald Trump seems to be concerned about his own mortality. President Trump dialed into Fox and Friends earlier today, Tuesday, August 19th, on Tuesday morning, and revealed his newest and truest motivation for brokering an end to the war in Ukraine. This is from the New York Times. He's worried he might not get into heaven after he dies. He's got like a 65-year track record that's going to keep him out of heaven, guys. Said Trump, I want to try to get into heaven if possible. I'm hearing I'm not doing well. I am really at the bottom of the totem pole. But if I can get into heaven, this will be one of the reasons. The article continued. This would have been a highly unusual admission from any president, but it seemed especially out of character coming from this one. He knows he's dying. He knows he's dying. He can see his cankles. And he knows what his cankles mean. He knows he's dying.
Did it happen? It's Sunday, August 24th at 11:13. Don't judge me, I slept in. But still, it's past 9 a.m. Did it happen? Someone confirm. Right the frick now. Did it happen? Did it?
Where that girl that said the president was going to be gone by 9 o'clock this morning? It's 12:52. Did she mean like LA time? Like what?
The reason why Donald Trump went on Fox News and told everyone that he wants to end the war in Ukraine and because he wants to go to heaven is because he knows he's dying. I am under the firm belief that Donald Trump is well aware of the fact that he probably does not have much longer left. A lot of people have been diagnosing him. I've seen, of course, and I've seen a lot of like certified doctors and things like that, of course. And I'm a very spiritual person, so I do have seen like, you know, those like very, very believable psychics and things like that have spoken up and acknowledged that like, yeah, it's not looking good for him. Because remember, if you don't remember, they said he had like chronic venous insufficiency. But a lot of people were saying, looking at the size of his fat ass cankles, he probably has congestive heart failure. And if that's the case, obviously, if you have congestive heart failure, from what I remember, from what I know about it, there is like no cure. It's not like something, it will eventually kill you. So obviously, given the fact that he's an older guy, he's very, 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 very overweight, very unfit, just evil, because evil will eventually kill your spirit and your soul. Yeah, he probably don't got much longer left. And like I said, I think that's the reason why, because I think too, he's shown like plenty of signs of just not being all the way there mentally and cognitively. So I think too that like his, you know, he probably does have his advisors kind of saying, do this, do that, do this, do that. Because yes, Donald Trump is an evil, terrible man who wants to be a dictator. But I think too, in the same way, there is a kind of push from other people as well, if that makes sense. And I also think this is part of the reason why Elon Musk is taking so many vacations, because he knows he's going to be like taking Trump's place soon. He knows. And like I said, so I want people to really like not like lock in and understand that it doesn't end when Trump dies, because it's probably not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, but it doesn't end when Trump is gone. You still got to get rid of JD. You still got to, honestly, you got to get rid of those of them, because the Democrats are being pussy and the Republicans are literally being truly the devil's reincarnated. So yeah, you got to get rid of the whole system at this point, except obviously, of course, except for Jasmine and Nicole Collier.
Either way, like I said, I think this is going to be, his death especially will be a turning point, because a lot of MAGA people also do not like J.D. Vance himself. And a lot of them are turning tables on the entire Republican Party within itself. So ultimately, I think this will work out in our favor. And America's 250-year anniversary is next year. And historically speaking, empires usually only last roughly about 250 years. So I like to think, and I like to have hope, that this change will be for the better.
Trump is going to die on the 3rd of September at 10 a.m. Could be 10 p.m. Somewhere around that time. My premonitions are never wrong. And he's going to die of a heart attack. Now, I've just woke up and my premonitions always come in my dreams. And I wanted to put it here that you heard it here first. Now, it could be 10 a.m. or 10 p.m. My time, your time, I don't know. Now, if you've followed me for a while, you'll know that I have had quite a few premonitions that have came true. And when I was in school, the kids used to call me Mystic Meg.
So the president has congestive heart failure and chronic kidney disease, and he's getting sicker. Next domino to fall will be if his kidneys actually fail and require hemodialysis. There are 4 main options for placement for a dialysis port. If a port is ever placed in one of his arms, he will not be able to play golf because he'll have to wear short sleeve shirts, and you will be able to see the fistula. Now, he could stop playing golf because he's just too sick to do so and doesn't have the energy to do it anymore. By the way, I don't think we've ever seen footage of Donald Trump walking or riding on the cart for 18 holes. I know he shows up on the first tee and, hits a few shots or whatever. I'm still skeptical that he even plays 18 holes at all right now. If his kidneys completely fail, he's going to need dialysis, and it is possible to live and have a mostly functional life with congestive heart failure that's managed and end-stage renal disease that requires hemodialysis 3 times a week. But he's not going to have the same schedule or energy that he had before. I've seen people ask if he would actually receive a transplant if one of his major organs does fail. That would be way more likely for someone much younger. But like many of you, I've seen House of Cards. There's got to be a Doug Stamper somewhere in the Trump White House that can get Trump at the top of the transplant list. Also, a side note for this entire situation, the people who are in elected office are entirely too old on average. There is absolutely no reason we should be watching an 80-year-old man decay on national television every day, and also completely watch his mind slip as he answers questions that aren't asked and pretends that he could play professional soccer. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
So he says he got peace between Azerbaijan and Albania, but in reality it's Azerbaijan and Armenia. Like, he doesn't care about the specifics. He just wants to get out there. I got peace. I can get to heaven now, right? Add it to the good tally, right? Did I do it? Like, that's what he's trying to do here. I don't know, man. I think there might be something to this, that he's got some health struggles.
I mean, he definitely has some health struggles. I am not convinced. I just feel like we're going to be cursed with this man forever. That's what I really feel like. I just feel like he's going to, it seems like the villainous people are the ones just that live for fucking ever. And I did.
My dad had a girl.
Yup, Trump might no longer be breathing anymore, and this is our final warning that our country will be under attack in just a few days, and we need to run. People were terrified after a recent press photo showed the dire state of the president right now, with some medical experts reporting he is either gone now or will be within 24 hours, and the one that will step into office after will end our existence. Haunting images show what appeared to be heavy foundation covering alleged bruising on his hand, with many pointing out how during the inauguration he just needed a light coverage, but it's now more heavy, leaving many to believe the situation has gotten much more dire. But it gets worse as he and his team are refusing any photos that are taken outside of his office with him behind his desk, with him seemingly attempting to cover his swollen ankles, and these are all potential signs that he does not have much time left.
All right, it's time to have a serious conversation about President Trump's health. If you look below, he's been photographed with a large bruise on his hand, and the public deserves answers. Doctors online speculate that this is the kind of IV bruise you get when you're on blood thinners, so the public deserves to know, is the president getting transfusions? What is the status of the president's health? In addition to these bruises, we know he has issues with his swollen ankles, and we know he has issues in terms of President Trump meandering and losing thought during conversation, forgetting people's names, forgetting that he appointed Jerome Powell. So I think the public deserves to know. And the reason I can say that is because because Republicans for 4 years claimed that Joe Biden was senile, that Joe Biden was not paying attention, that Joe Biden had a body double, that Barack Obama was really the president. So if we could have a discourse for 4 years on whether Joe Biden was fit to be president, but any Democrat who dares to suggest that President Trump has a health issue, we're told that we have TDS. I'm just asking for consistency here. And quite frankly, the President of the United States seems to be ill, and the public deserves to have answers so we can make an adequate decision in 2026 and in 2028. So I'm hoping Republicans will get on board here. Obviously, if they really cared about the country, they wouldn't just be worried about Biden's health, they'd be worried about Trump's as well.
So as you may have seen, Donald Trump is now saying that the real reason he wants to end the war in Ukraine is because he wants to get into heaven, and he thinks that he's on the bottom of the totem pole and he has to do one more good final act before he goes to heaven. Now, I'm not sure if he's spiraling about his current health complications, but let me tell you one thing with certainty. Donald Trump is going to hell. This man has abused women. This man has cheated on women. This man is likely very much incriminated with what Jeffrey E. has done on that little island Trump visited, most likely. And by the way, if Donald Trump goes to heaven, sign me out. I want no part in that, because there is no legitimate heaven if Donald Trump is there eating Big Macs, drinking his Coca-Cola, and talking about how Joe Biden stole the 2020 election. That sounds like a nightmare to me. I want no part in that. But folks, there's a bigger thing at stake here. Donald Trump is once again using Christianity to play with the fears of the American people. He is pretending to be a holier-than-thou Christian to get people to think that he's the Messiah, that he's this Christ-like figure that's going to end wars because he believes in the Bible. Donald Trump is not a real Christian. He is only playing with your emotions. He's playing with your faith to try and get you to continue supporting his failed administration.
I can't believe I'm about to say this sentence, but Trump said something on Fox News this morning that gave me hope. It gave me hope. And I know we need hope badly right now. So hang on with me. So he was talking about how he wants to end the war in Ukraine and how he's ended all these wars. But he wants to end the war in Ukraine because he wants to get into heaven. He wants to get into heaven. He is worried about his mortal soul, about where it's going to go in the afterlife. And it is particularly weird for Donald Trump to say anything about his faith, because he keeps it private after Paula White told him to, because he messes up all the time. He fucks up. He said 2 Corinthians. He held the Bible upside down. Now he's suddenly talking about going to heaven. He wouldn't even tell anyone his favorite Bible verse, but he's concerned about where his soul is going to go. And he kind of played it off as a joke. We learned last month that he was sick and he had that intravenous whatever. He has congestive heart failure. And it's not long for this world. And he knows it.
Hello brothers and sisters, welcome back to the channel. I'm hoping that you're doing great from wherever you're from. Mr. Donald Trump wants that when he dies, he wants to go to heaven. I think that's the most important thing, that he's a person who is trying to redeem himself of what's really crazy that has been happening. And I think he's resorting to peace, because trying to end the Ukraine war, this means that bringing stability even to the United States, bringing stability to any other country that could be affected by this. But at the end of the day, we are asking ourselves this question. Do you think that all these diseases, all these problems that are happening to him, if they didn't have to happen, did it make Mr. Donald Trump try to rethink about his life, or try to rethink about his tenure in leadership and how he conducted all these things? I mean, let's look at all those wars that have been with the United States, including the recent one with the Iran, right? So these are the following questions that we might want to ask ourselves. But at least I'm seeing Americans are having hope in regards to all these things that are happening. And I think that's quite good. I think it's quite a good message for all Americans who are looking forward for a peaceful United States. My only word is that it didn't need to Mr. Donald Trump to be sick for him to do that. If he was a good leader, he will just have to decide by himself that he's going to make that happen, because rightfully that's what he's supposed to do as a right leader, because that's what is expected of. Something doesn't have to happen, like he's going to be dying so that he can make the right decision, including ending wars, or removing a lot of sanctions, or removing a lot of trade tariffs that has been there for a lot of time that is affecting the people of the United States. I'd like also to note that we are having some Americans that are happy that this is happening to them. And I think the lady that predicted the death of Mr. Donald Trump made people really happy. But at the end of the day, it didn't happen, because we've had a lot of predictions that people have predicted about the death of Mr. Donald Trump and all these things. The looming disease, maybe, I don't know. These things happen, but at the end of the day, I don't think that they should make a leader like make the right decision. This is something that they should be doing upfront. It shouldn't wait for a person to be sick or for a person to see a looming death so that they can make the right decision. This is something that they should do because they are obligated as the leaders to make the right decision for their own citizens of the country. A country where people keep crying, a country where people's mental health is not okay because the leader is trying to do things for the top 1% and leaving the bottom 99% crying about the economy and everything. I mean, this is just the truth. It is really hypocritical at the stance that you know that you are gonna die, and that's when you know the importance of maintaining peace. That's when you know the importance of valuing life. While you want to go to heaven, look at the life that you lived. Look at the life, how you made people feel. I've never seen Americans sad like this season because he made Americans so sad by making the life so hard for everyone. And so even though right now he's seeing the looming death that is coming towards him, it is right for him to do that because he just want to clear his name. He just want to make things right for him. But do you think this is what supposedly a leader should do? Because I think this is just human nature, because at the end of the day, when we see something that is close to us or something that we feel like we are going to die soon, we always want to make things right. And I've seen people do this. People in the death of bed, this is one symptom, one thing that they usually want to do. First, they always want to make things right with God and trying to correct all the past transgressions that they did, trying to make it right even with the living people. That's what Mr. Donald Trump right now is trying to do. But I'm really interested in what people said about this. And I had a couple of comments that people are saying, he has not repented. Good works can't get you in heaven. Yeah, some people believe that for you to go to heaven, you need repentance. Somebody is saying that my 80-year-old grandma who is disabled lost her home care aid. Her food stamps are reduced to $20. No way he's going to heaven. People are bitter with Mr. Donald Trump, and you need to understand this. I don't think he was referring to his death. I think he feels he's going to hell when he dies because of his past doings. Either way, all in the same directions, because at the end of the day, we're all going to die, and we need to accept it. But the biggest question is, what life did you live? Right? Because that's what people are gonna be asking you. What life did you live when you were alive? Somebody also said that I'm over here with my popcorn, watching the previews, waiting. The only people I will say from this administration are Justin Crockett, Nicole Collier, and Gavin Newsom. Let the show begin. I mean, man, this is crazy because people have nothing positive to say about Mr. Donald Trump. Why? Because he's screwed everywhere. To even the 80% of the people that voted for him, he also went ahead and screwed from that point. Somebody say that MAGA is going with him. Hell will have lots of company from the MAGA GOP. Stay healthy, black folks. It is what it is. Somebody saying that Trump, good deeds get no one to heaven. Going to heaven has to do with your relationship with Jesus. It's a pity that those so-called pastors around you haven't shown you the way. They are busy grabbing money here and there. I pray that you find Jesus. I mean, really find Jesus. He alone can save you. People have a lot of things to educate Trump about all these things that happened. Somebody also said that I will not laugh at anyone's demise. I know the man is wicked. He should be praying, fasting, and repenting of all those wicked things he has done and asking for forgiveness to the people. He ruined the lives of them, right? And this is something that I think it's true and it makes sense, because when you live a life of making people sad, making people bitter and all these things, it is right for you to ask for forgiveness, but that doesn't guarantee you going to heaven. Really, let me know what you think about this video. I'm your host and presenter, G Stories, but until then, let me see you in my next video. Peace, love, and harmony. Salute.